Alrighty then. Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft live stream. Hooray! So I'm Shells, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Today we're going to work more on this Rococo build because I really want to get it done. I have been doing a little bit off camera. It may not seem like I've done a whole lot, but I've done some, so I think the main thing is I had this way too high before, so I've actually dropped it down because this needs to be more like a shallow dish, like a plate, rather than a bowl. And I've started putting in some of these lines over here to mark the archways. And then at that point I can go ahead and finish off the entire dome. And now there's going to be a nice, lovely mural up on the top, and so I'm going to have to figure out how to make, like, some pixel art and then get it up onto the ceiling. But I figure what I'll do is I'll put just a generic something down, something like white wool or something else that can be easily replaced, and then I can, use the replace command or, basically build out my pixel art and then splat it up top and then fix anything that gets messed up with the curvature of the actual ceiling. But today I think my main goal is to get this done. Now, I was a little bit uncertain. SpongeBob is asking if I've played survival. I have. I've done a lot of survival, and I thought about doing a survival world with you guys, but I can't get things done in creative mode, much less survival mode, just because of time constraints. So, just for now, I'm doing purely survival mode, not survival, creative mode stuff. And I think because my big project is going to be the Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Alex map, I would rather work on doing that stuff in creative mode than try to start something new in survival where I'm not sure what I'm doing, so that's kind of why I've avoided it thus far. But yeah, so today I want to go ahead and work on these lines. Now, something I wasn't sure about, and I can't tell from, like, diagrams and pictures, is which direction these lines should face. Currently they are facing towards the center, but I've also seen some designs where they instead face towards the, because an oval has 4 vertices that it's based off of, the circle, for the circles on either side here, is, that vertices, and then the ones that are judging the circle going around that way. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to, work on doing... Well, I wasn't sure if these should point towards those vertices or if they should point towards the center. And the reason I'm going with the center as opposed to pointing to this is this changes depending on the size of the oval. So for this oval, the line is, the center is right there. But for the bigger oval, the one that's the entire room is based off of, I actually have it marked down below, so it's like right about there. That's the point. And you can see that's quite a big gap. If I were to try to build the lines pointing to this line here instead, it would come from a straight line from that point to me, as opposed to the center line where you can see it's pointing from that line in. And I'm not sure which one is better. I figured that the more, like, this line isn't going to change because it's the center of all of the ovals. So I figured because that one doesn't change at all, that's what I'm pointing everything to. You're asking if I only build in Rococo and Baroque. No, actually this is kind of a little bit new to me, as well, so I usually build in Gothic style just because it's my default, which is why I started doing tutorials for Gothic construction, is because that's like my comfort zone and when I felt I could explain a little bit better. Whereas this one I'm doing Baroque and Rococo stuff, I'm always just like, do I have this right? I don't know if I have it right or not. I think it's right. But this is a large build that I've been working on. It's a big project, and I really want to get it done so that way I can actually present a tutorial for you guys. So that's why I'm focusing on it right at the moment. Otherwise, I'd probably, for the live streams, I'd be focusing more on Legend of Alex. Because I really want to get that project done, and that one's one I care about a little bit more. But yeah, that's... oh, another change I made is I did make this curve. I made a larger oval going around the whole thing, and I made this curve. And what this is going to do is it's going to be sectioned off where there's actually going to be a wall breaking up each of these sections. I have to figure out how to make an oval that's on this diagonal, and it's hard enough making an oval that's not on a diagonal. So I'm almost wondering if I should try to take this and just like tell World Edit to like adjust the angle on it and then paste it into this spot, but I really worry that it's just not going to work like at all, so I might have to just freeform an approximation of an oval to fit in that space and that space. And those will be basically little chapels that will break off from the main entrance. These are obviously windows, so there's going to, you know, the chapels are only going to come up to that high and then have a roof going over them. So they're not going to be particularly big. Just big enough that I could maybe put a statue or something inside each of these little areas here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started on building this spot. I put in the lines where I want them to go, but you can see I haven't actually formally placed it in yet. And I left this open so that way you could see my entire process for this. I'll explain some of this in the tutorial as well, but sometimes it's nice to be able to see somebody just build it. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to get this line. Am I happy with that? It's a little bit squared off. I might try to... Yeah, the part of the problem is this isn't just like a straight line going here and going in. You thought I did a cyberpunk build or Art Deco? I'm not a big fan of modern builds. I actually like more traditional style of, you know, yeah, more traditional, older styles of architecture, so that's generally what I stick with. I am a huge fantasy nerd, so I'm one of those people that builds castles and temples all day long. So I'm definitely not a modernist style person. You won't see any of those kinds of styles from me. I don't think I'm very good at building them, and it's not the stuff that I enjoy building. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to round out that corner a little bit more, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to really succeed. Yeah, no, that doesn't look very good at all. Oop. I don't think that's going to get any more round than it is currently. So what we need to do is we need to make this curve from here down to that point. So what I like to do is I actually like to just like bled it down and then mess with the curve as it goes. So I could say it probably drops there. It's gonna stay on this level for a little bit. I almost wonder if it needs to go more like that. It's an imprecise method, but it lets me back up from it, see the curve, and make adjustments as I see fit. If I have time, see some Art Deco buildings or interior ideas. I'm sure there's some really cool ones out there, but I think just as a personal preference for styles, I'm going to tend to be one that's going to be more medieval-ish sort of styles. I have looked into Art Nouveau, and I'll probably do a tutorial on Art Nouveau at some point because I really, really like Art Nouveau stuff. And you see a lot of that in, like, you know, examples would be from Arcane, used a lot of Art Nouveau inspired builds and such like that. I think that would be a really fun thing to do, build on, is, you know... But yeah, anything more modern than Art Nouveau and some... You kind of start to lose me on some of that stuff. I get the reasoning for it, but it's just not my thing. Hello Zeus, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm not sure... Trying to follow the pattern up above. That's where I usually bled it down more, but I'm being lazy at this point. Well, the problem is that my point is going all the way out to here, and I think that's right there, so... Yeah, I need to make that come down at a more gradual angle in order to meet up where it needs to go. So, we come up here, that one's like 4 across, that one's 3 across, that one's only 2 across, so we could probably have that be a 3, and then maybe a 2, and then 1. Oop. 1's for a little bit, and then a 1, 2. I know I do a lot of guess and check on these, and it's maybe not the best way to make a curve, but if I'm trying to hone something in just right, then I find that that's the best. I really don't like that curving right there, so what I'll probably do is just have a lot more of the 1s going down, and then a 1, 2 segment. So this would be come up to... there, shoot away. This would be 1, 2, and we just have spot there. Would this be 1, 2, and then that would be 1, 2, 3. Actually, I could go up a little bit with this, I think. That's a decent curve. Good. And then I can get rid of all the stuff on the top here. So that's usually how I end up laying out these curves, is I draw the line from the top where I want it to go, and then I just try to force it down into the curve that I want it down below. Yeah, that needs to all be down. And then I can come down, view it, and see if I like it. It looks really... Whoops. Fell down too far there. I worry that it looks really choked off, but that's because I have that center line pointing that way. And that's where I do wonder if I should have had the lines pointing in towards the inner vertices instead. So what that would have looked like coming up here is that center line would come along there. So then that line would be choked up more. And then this center line would be almost directly this way. So it would give that curve more space to go. But again, my query with having it point to this, the vertices on this oval, is that it changes depending on whether we're looking at this oval at the top or if we're looking at the oval down below. And I wasn't sure if that mattered, but it seems like it should matter. But looking at how, like, the rooms beyond are laid out, they're more pointing towards this vertices. So that's where I might put in this entire side pointing towards the center, and then put in this side pointing towards the inner vertice there, and see which one I like better. It means extra work for me, but it would be worth it to see which one, you know, I actually like better. So let's go ahead and keep going with this. This one should be a lot easier to move down because it only moves down like 5 blocks or so. So just grab it, moves down. Yeah, there's always going to be extra work that most people aren't going to see. And I mean, that's part of why I do the live streams as well, so that way you can see my process as I'm doing it, because sometimes when you show off a finished build, it's like, look, it's so pretty, and everyone goes, woo, ah, but they don't really, like, see what all goes into making it, and that's where I try to make the tutorial videos, but even that kind of glosses over a lot of details. So yeah, with the live stream, if you're watching all of them, then you get to see the entire process. Though obviously I do some things off camera, like I made that curved oval off camera. But that's because you've seen me make like 50 million ovals by this point, and each one takes me forever to make. So, yeah, not sure how much of that you actually want to watch. Alright, let's see here. This should go all the way down to this point right here, so I need to figure out how to get from point A to point B in a reasonable manner. So maybe start by jumping up. I have those ones really, really shallow, and I kind of like that approach more, so we're going to flesh it out more. Then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's a more gradual curve. I do try to, as I've stated multiple times, whenever I'm making curves, I do try to like just slowly up the pattern, so that way I go from going from 1s to 2s to 3s to 4s to 5s to 6s, just to get in a more consistent curve into it. Then I can just delete everything up above. Yay! Hey Scots! Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Honestly, just even seeing this little bit of the ribs going up makes it way more apparent how it's going to turn out. So it's kind of nice just seeing little bits of progress here and there. Alright. I think having that there makes that one look slightly less squashed, but it still does look really squashed. Again, that's why I'm going to make that side different and then see which one I prefer. Because I think this one is more you know, if they're pointing to that vertice, I think that's more accurate to what I've seen from diagrams laid out of just like floor plans of Baroque and Rococo builds. At least the ones built around ovals, as they usually are built around the vertices of the oval itself. And I think it looks nicer, but again, I wasn't sure whether to use that one or the one for the big oval altogether. I think I'd probably use that one. It seems more reasonable. But yeah, we'll see. So I might end up deleting all of this work that I'm doing over here. But it does look really nice, and that's the goal. I think the headache will be is once I get in the arches where I want them to be, I'm just going to have to fill in these curves, and I don't know of a good way to fill it in without doing it manually. And it's going to take forever. And that's going to be one that I'm not even sure would be live stream worthy of doing with you guys, because that's just going to be a long and tedious process. Alright, so the way I'm going to do this this line, and I'll show, this is what I've done for all of these, is I come to where I want it to end over here. And we're going to pillar up until it is level with those blocks up there. And I'm going to use the line tool, but then I'm going to modify it to then make it curve a little bit more. So that's why I'm not building the line directly to the point of the center. I'm coming out a little bit, and then I'll make the line, and then I can curve it in towards the edge, because they aren't just straight lines from there to there. It curves around a little bit to make it more of like a rounded arch instead of just a straight line. So what Y level is this? Just double checking. It is at Y level 71, so this one, I was only one block off. Hooray. I grab you to you, and we're gonna say line in red. Poof! That's a pretty dang straight line, honestly. But then I'm just going to curve it a little bit more, so that way it looks nice. Nice-ish. That one is such a flat line that I think I'm not actually going to alter it a whole lot. Maybe I'll have this line come out more this way, just so that way it looks like it's rounder there. But yeah, otherwise I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, the thing with Baroque and Rococo is they had a thing against straight lines. They on purpose tried to hide or obscure most straight lines, and so everything had to be round and curvy, which is one of the reasons why Rococo in particular looks very feminine and almost in an evocative sort of way, because they emphasize every little curve, and and in fact a lot of Rococo builds would, if there was a 90-degree angle, they would purposely put ornamentation that's rounded in that corner to try to avoid that harsh 90-degree. So yeah, doing anything Baroque and Rococo, you better like curves, because you're doing a lot of them. Alright. Since that's on that level, I'm not going to worry too much about it, and we're going to, again, start to make a curve going down. Let's see here, this one is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Here. Is that okay, or did I prefer the other one? I think I preferred that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. So we need to start getting down to that point. Actually, I wonder if I could have insert another 1, 2 into that. I just have to make sure. I always like take from the top row and blend down when I'm working on these ridiculous lines, just so that way I can make sure it's the same. But because this one stays mostly straight and I can just change 1 or 2 things, you know, I can just make sure, okay, that one goes down. And it's not as big of a deal. Alright, this is coming to this point. You can see I'm kind of missing here, so I need to actually extend out these just a little bit more. I think I'm going to do another 1, 2, 3, and then a 1, 2, and then another 1, 2. And then I'll come down in 1s. And then maybe a 1, 2 there. Oh, that's still not lining up. Yeah, okay. Ouch with you, you're wrong. Say 1, 2, 3, so then 1, 2s. Not quite. There. Well, they meet right at the moment, and let's see if they actually look good. That is a bit of a flat line there. So maybe I have it come more that. It's not the worst. Alright. Let me get rid of this red line so it's not distracting, and we can back up and see how this curve is looking. That's not bad. Alright, just need the final one for the straight on view here. And at that point I can flip and do the one that's pointing at that vertices instead of pointing at the center point instead, and see which one I like better. Honestly, I think I could get away with doing either of, you know, either having it point to the center or pointing to that middle vertices, and I don't think anybody will notice. But I'm one of those people that I'll care and I'll notice. So, yeah, I'll figure out which one I like better. Baroque engineers wouldn't like today's architecture. Yeah, well, it's hard to say because, you know, our architecture is, part of it is functionality. We know a lot more today about, you know, safety protocols and engineering. We also have different materials that lets us do different things, like, you know, having stainless steel bars running through things is part of what allowed for a lot of modern stuff. So, you know, it's, you can't just put on a gloss over, yeah, today's stuff sucks, because there's a reason that our stuff is built today the way it is. And there is something to be said about minimalism as opposed to something as ostentatious as Baroque and Rococo. I almost feel like Baroque and Rococo is almost too much in a lot of cases. And that's where it's not my favorite style of architecture. It's beautiful. There are some gorgeous Rococo and Baroque buildings out there. But you almost get the sense that, like, every little bit looks too busy because it just, everything is encrusted with some sort of, intricate carving, intricate painting, and it's almost too much to look at in some regards. So that's where it's definitely not my favorite style of architecture. So now here's one thing I'm not sure. When I was building this, there was a distinct separation between the, one side to the other. This one almost looks like it's trying to merge over here. Should I have placed maybe this one over here and then this one over here? Probably. In which case, this line would be slightly different. Because we're going to need to move it over by one. And move it forward by one as well. So just for the sake of experimentation, I'm going to try that. We're going to say move. And try to move it forward. And then make a new line. Honestly, if I just take this stuff and put something like a bridge between the two. That's a problem. Oh, that came from me moving everything forward by one. So I'm actually going to move this one forward by one. Get that. Move you forward so that way that's a more gradual curve. Move this one forward and this one forward. There we go. Yep, I think that'll be good. And should I place that one here or should I place it here? These are the questions that must be answered, because I do like having a little bit of a gap. That one barely has any gap, but that one has a pretty sizable gap between those two. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it from this point, though I should actually build it since that was on top of, although I do have that one on top of a leaf too, don't I? Maybe I shouldn't have moved it so far forward, but I like it being so far forward, but I don't like that it looks like that structure is on top of one of the delicate acanthus leaves. It's fine. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put this one right here though. I worry that it's going to try to run into my little rainbow thing, but so in that regards, yeah, I'll move it forward by one. Alright, up to 71. Good. Da. Yay, that curved on its own. I don't need to make that. The creeper has been looking into my soul forever. Yeah, so this plushie has turned it out to be one of my daughter's like favorite toys to play with, and I think it's because we'll do a thing where we'll have it creep up to her and go tss, kaboom, we'll throw it at her. She loves it. It makes her laugh and giggle. So that poor creeper has so many stains on it because you know, she's a messy toddler, usually has food all over her face and hands, but she'll just like come up to that creeper and just like love on it. Next thing you know, it's covered in food. But it's very cute. There was a semi-nerdy event that I was at earlier today. Just a local, not really a convention, because it wasn't a real convention, but it was fun to do. And so I'm actually dressed up in, I took off all of the arm guards and stuff, but I'm actually in a Princess Zelda dress right at the moment. And I used to have a Korok outfit for my daughter, but that was when she was like 8 months old and it doesn't fit anymore. So instead I just threw on a creeper dress that I had her in for Halloween. So she was a little creeper earlier today and she was adorable. Oh, I usually like to see if this is making a pattern, but nope, I'm not gonna worry about it. It looks good enough and I'm not gonna mess with it. It doesn't have to be a straight line and it doesn't have to follow patterns. Alright. Yeah, I like making the costumes for cosplays. Sometimes I'm a little bit like worried when I'm in public wearing them because it does draw attention to yourself, and I'm not very good at I'm not one who likes to scream out my name and get people to look at me. So sometimes I'm always just like, maybe I shouldn't wear a cosplay, but also, why else am I making these costumes? They look cool. Oh, you're asking what I'm doing in Minecraft right at the moment. Well, I am working on my Baroque and Rococo build, in the hopes that I can get a Baroque and Rococo tutorial to you guys in a somewhat reasonable time. I feel really bad because it's been like months since I have released any actual video besides the live streams. I'm sorry. So that's where I'm trying really hard to like finish the Baroque and Rococo stuff, but you can see I have a long ways to go still, because I am just like still putting in the bare bones skeleton of this thing. I have the only statues I've built are these ones, and I need to put in individual like chapels with their own statues and an entire pixel art mural on the ceiling. I need to do an entire section over here, an entire section over here. This one's going to have 4 statues in it. This one's also going to have, I don't know if I'm going to do statues in this one. This one might just be a mural on the ceiling. Well, no, I have something else I want to put on the mural. So no, it's also going to have 4 statues over here. So, then there's going to be a staircase and a second floor, and yeah, I have a lot to go in here. Do I do PvP? No, I'm garbage at PvP. I am a builder, and I'm not a fighter. I enjoy playing PvP. What I used to do a lot was I used to play Mineplex a lot, and I loved doing the specifically loved doing the paintball in there. So I've enjoyed doing PvP, but I'm garbage at it. So don't expect me to make any videos on PvP stuff from me anytime soon, because that would just be an embarrassment to everyone. I'll happily build things and make things look pretty, but yeah. Mineplex was one of the best experiences you had in Minecraft. Yeah, I loved playing on Mineplex way back when. I feel like, I don't know, recently... Well, I think what killed Mineplex for me personally was they decided to make it so that way, the main game I played was paintball. And then they made it so that way the only way you could play paintball was either you had to make your own room and play with just your friends that you invited, or you had to do the, join the arcade games where it was a random game every single time. And a lot of their arcade games just weren't my thing. So, I liked it better when I could just play paintball over and over and over and over again. They were usually really quick matches. I could just run in and, you know, usually you die within the first 3 seconds and then wait for somebody to throw a splash potion on you so you'd get healed. And then you'd go back into the game. But, so I really liked the fast-paced nature of it. I liked that it was, you know, quick and fun. And that was what I played over and over again. I also used to do their guest build, but I had found that, for one thing, I got sick of doing, see, now that looks almost a little bit too crowded that way. Maybe I shouldn't have moved it. Okay, fine, I'll push it back over. Yeah, the problem with doing Guess the Build on there was that, you inevitably had people who would do things like just put a sign with the word on it if they gave up on the build, and then you also had people who would build wildly inappropriate things. And yeah, there was a report button, but it didn't seem to do anything or stop people from just, you know, building dicks. And then I got sick of doing the same exact prompts over again. It's like, oh, I'm going to build Shrek for the 50 millionth time in a row. And then that became less fun for me. The good old inappropriate methods. Yeah, I'm not a fan, honestly. Like, if you don't want to build the thing, sure, fine, whatever. But don't ruin it for everyone else, please. Just don't play the game if you're going to act like that. Alright, so we've got that curve done, and honestly, those look pretty cool. And I could be perfectly happy with those. Or I could be crazy and instead of having them point to the center line, point to that vertices instead. That's the vertices that creates that edge of the oval up top. And I have to determine which one I like better. I'm really tempted to just start filling in this and call it good, but I do want to see what the difference would be if it pointed more inwards instead, and see if I like it better. But yeah, I think the last time I checked in on Mineplex, they were having you pay to even play on the server, so I just kind of went, nope, that's a quick nope from me. Kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Oops, that's too high. Where am I going? Yeah. So here, I can click from there to there. That's on 71, right? No, it's not. Okay, good, I checked that. Good, good, good. Alright. We're gonna say line, and we're gonna make this blue. So that's a 3, 4, 3. Ow, no. See, I hate it when it does this, where it's like, it looks like it's going to be a 3, 4, 3 pattern, but except that it goes 3 4 3 3 3 4 3 3 3 pattern. So I don't know what to do. Yeah. As far as survival goes, I think I'd be more willing to do like a survival series if it was doing something more like what the hermits are doing in Hermitcraft, where I could record videos with everybody else who's on the server and post stuff. But the fact of the matter is I don't have enough friends for that. And you can't just like join a random server and start recording videos because you never know. You can't really, and this feels bad because the saying, you can't control what people show up or do things with you or interact with you or how they interact. But it's kind of like my problem with the guess the build and people building dicks, is unfortunately there are a great deal of people who are perfectly willing to just be garbage people. And so it's I don't want to just like join a random server and start trying to build stuff on there when I can't guarantee that it's going to be something I can make videos on. Alright, so the question is, do I remove the 1 2 3 4 so that way it just maintains a 1 2 3 pattern, because that looks really weird being right there? I think the answer is yes, because I'm bizarre. So 1 2 3, and then that one would be there. 1 2 3. All right. See, I didn't mind having to do things like fight creepers for doing the survival. I think a lot of the main reasons for not doing survival was time constraints. I don't have enough time to play in survival anymore. I barely have enough time to play in creative mode. And people to play with. I have... My husband could play with me, but only when he's off work, and then when there's kids at home, like, what do? We can't just let the kids run amok while he and I play a game together. So, it really limits the amount of time I can play with him, unfortunately. And then... it feels bad to say, but I don't have a whole lot of friends who do play on Minecraft. Most of the friends I hang out with, they just... a lot of them don't play games at all. Or if they do, it's like, you know, I have a friend who, she'll play House Flipper, and that's kind of cool that I can show her House Flipper builds and do some of that. But overall, I don't really have a group of friends that I regularly play games with. And almost none of them play Minecraft. So, I do have a friend that I used to play more Minecraft with, and she's actually one who was helping me a little bit with doing the Legend of Alex stuff. Specifically, she's really good with doing command blocks and stuff like that. But we just haven't played survival together, and she's more interested in doing, like, playing the old beta versions of Minecraft, whereas that doesn't necessarily appeal to me. And so, just, most of my friends don't have much of an interest in joining me on Minecraft. So, without people to play with, it's really rough to try to do anything like that. Alright. Not the best curve, not the worst curve either. I suppose a solution would be to just, you know, find more friends, and that's where I've thought about just, like, joining other random servers to, you know, make friends that do play Minecraft, sort of thing. But I wouldn't be able to do any video recording for it, and at this point most of the time that I do spend on, like, the creative energy that goes into designing builds and stuff like that, I want to put it in a way that you guys can see it. So And again, I always run into the thing of, would I rather play, you know, just to build in survival, or would I rather work on my Legend of Alex world? And for the most part, the answer is work on my Legend of Alex world. This curve isn't going to change, so I'm just going to copy and flip it and paste it over here. Why did that not line up? Why is that not in the center? But I have one center line. That's on the center. Yeah, right? If I were to drop down here, fly up to here, that's my center. Why is it off by one? No! Alright, well, that's a problem. Excuse me whilst I cry. Alrighty then. This entire oval needs to move over to the right by one, I think. How did I let this happen? How do I move that over without ruining all of these? Crap. Oh, no, no. I'm so sad. How did I do that? That's the worst, especially when I've been like building stuff off of this oval to realize that the entire oval is off by one block. Delete this line. There's a way to use the move command in a way that only moves purple wool, right? Like, I could specify it to just move the purple wool. I think. No, that didn't work at all. That just added in a purple thing. Undo. If I G-mask purple wool, it still won't work. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, that's what I thought it would do. Okay. There's a way to do it, and I know there's a way to do it, but I don't remember how to do it. Alright, well. We patch it up then. This is a 1-2. Oh, 1-2. Okay. This is my sad face. Shells is sad. Ugh. Oh, it's easy. Oop. Okay. Oh, maybe Axiom has a solution, but that mod scares you. It scares me too. I will use Axiom happily for doing big things where I'm having to modify a large amount of blocks, but for doing individual little things, no, I'm not touching it because there is an undo button, but it's just sometimes feels like you try to do one thing and suddenly a big swath of blocks just appears. And you're like, well, alright. That... And I think a lot of it comes down to, I haven't learned Axiom. I don't know how to make it work. Scary. Alright, where is the exact center of this then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just one block over. Yeah. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one is less fine. But this one was always kind of weird. No. That's kind of a weird angle on there. I don't like it, but... I might just oust those 2 blocks and just have it go straight. Yep. That looks better. Alright. I think we've avoided the heat death of the universe, so, hooray. Yeah, I think I connected everything again. And now, this should be the key phrase here, actually work this time. Now that I actually have this oval centered, I'm glad I caught that before I did the rest of everything. I wish I had caught it a little bit sooner, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Yay, it worked! Alright. So you can see just comparing that line to that line, that they're not going to be that much different, but I'm wondering which one will be better looking. I worry that this one makes too tight of corners, having it point to the center line. So let's go ahead and start by making this guy. What? I think I decided that I was making this be the line over here. Yeah. So up to 71 with E. Baroque and Rococo actually do go back to Roman arches in a lot of cases. And they did things like add in, you'll notice we've got our Greek pillars back again. And this actually started with the Renaissance era. Renaissance people started going back to the classics. And so you ended up with buildings that incorporated more of the ancient Roman, ancient Greek, all of that stuff. So that's kind of why I did all of the Greek architecture stuff, the Romanesque architecture videos, before I even started to address Baroque and Rococo, is because they take elements from pretty much everything that came before. I think the main thing they tried to stray away from is they wanted to be distinctly different from Gothic architecture, which at that point was almost overdone, so they were avoiding doing that as a rule. Oh, I don't want it to point to that. That one's pointing to that. This one is pointing to a line that's going to come out more like here. Yeah. There. That's my other. Make sure that's one selected there, and line in red. And then we just curve it more. So I'm actually going to come out a little bit more with that and with that to make it more rounded on the end. Perfect. So that's where this guy right here is actually a Roman arch. And all of these are Roman arches. It's because Baroque and Rococo take the style from previous architectural styles and utilizes all of them. The main introduction, and this is why I've built my entire cathedral here off of nothing but ovals, is because the main feature added to Baroque and Rococo would be the oval. It's the main unique feature of that. Will there be some work on the glass? You mean like the glass floor here? I think I've got the glass floor where I want it to be. I'll probably, you see I have like the patterns put in on the top here. I'll probably put patterns in here as well, but there's also going to be a staircase in here. Oh, the glass on the walls? Well, no, not as much. It's actually going to be a little bit less work to put in the glass in here than it is in the Gothic architecture stuff, because they didn't use stained glass windows for Baroque and Rococo. Specifically because the reason that they used stained glass before is because it's really freaking hard to make clear glass before this time period. But by the time they were doing Baroque and Rococo builds, they had figured out the methods for making large sheets of completely clear glass, and so they actually feature that instead of, it was more expensive to make a completely clear window than it was to make a stained glass window, believe it or not. And so that was their way of showcasing, hey, look what we can do, we've got a bunch of money doing this instead. And so, it's funny what you get comparative. The other thing that they did is, with Baroque and Rococo, is that they used natural light as almost like a theatrical sort of approach to highlight certain things, so it was just easier to do with a clear window than if they tried to do stained glass windows. So yeah, my job's actually going to be really, really easy. I'm going to build a frame around these windows, and I'll put in some little details because there are individual panes going up. So there's going to be a center line and kind of like the, what is that called? It's not a moon window. It's not a sunburst thing, which is what I always call it. I don't remember the name of the rounded windows. I'll look it up. But yeah, that's actually going to be more curvy. And it'll almost look more like a wagon wheel window is what I think what I was trying to say. You'll stick with sunburst, sounds cooler. I mean, that's always what I always pictured it to look like, is it's almost like the sun being at the top of the window, where it's, the rectangular section of the window ends, and then you've got what looks like a sunrise over the top. So I always call it a sunburst. It's not the actual name. So don't quote me on that. It's wrong. Yeah, righty. You know, I actually thought that this would be a little bit less narrow, but I guess it makes sense that that one's more narrow than that one, with that particular curve. But this one should be a little bit better. There's something not quite right about that curve. It doesn't look right. I think it's going... Oh, that's why it's going too tall. It needs to meet up with that one. Got it. Which means that I need to actually lower this a little bit more. Ah! Alright, now I just need to clean it up. Always one block off. Inevitable. That's where I don't think I could build without World Edit. If I did not have World Edit to save me on moments like those, I just would give up. Especially for the ones like the big oval being exactly one block off. Nope, that'd be it. Just give up the ghost, abandon the project, and cry in a corner. First impression is that I do kind of like this side more than this side, but I haven't done enough of this one to really get a full picture on it yet. Yeah, I can't play with that World Edit now either, which is one of the reasons that sometimes the updates that come in Minecraft is always just like, oh man, I need to now update everything. And I'm actually on an old version of Minecraft as it is. Does it tell me Minecraft 1.21.10? I don't know if that... I don't think that's up to date. It's just... I have to, like... For my main toolkit, I have to go in and edit a lot of stuff to make it happen. World Edit, is it difficult to learn, is what you're asking. I don't think... A lot of the commands are usually pretty straightforward. Usually it's, that they lined it up pretty well, where you have instinctive things like, I want it to move, well, how many blocks do you move it? I want it to move 50 blocks, and I want to make sure that it's not moving the air. So minus A means no air, minus the air. So a lot of things can be really, really easy to learn. There are also a number of things that I'm just like, I don't know how to do that. I know World Edit can do it, but I don't know how to do it. Like when I was trying to move just the purple blocks, and so at that point I'm just like, I'm not going to bother to look it up. But, you know, for the most part, a lot of things are intuitive enough that you can learn it really fast. Um, yeah, watching tutorials is great, and there's plenty of tutorials out there. But I find that world edit commands are more intuitive than the commands that are built into the game itself in a lot of cases. Like for world edit, you know, you have the wooden axe that lets you, it's basically your magic wand. I can say, alright, I need this block and I need this block, and I'm going to draw a line between it. A line that's going to be blue. Bam. And it's as easy as that. Whereas if I'm trying to do the actual commands, I have to say, alright, what coordinates are these? Oh, well, that is -670, -435, and I have to write down those exact coordinates and before I even start making the command, and then would have to be like, well, we're going to have to say set block. Oops, I forgot that. So, you know, set block at these exact coordinates, and if they aren't exactly right, it's going to die on me. And so I find world edit far more intuitive than trying to make standard command blocks, the things built into the game. And you can't do things like lines. You can't take a section and copy it. There is a way to sort of do that with like the specialty blocks that are provided in the creative mode. There are some blocks that they try to do that let you take an area and be able to copy it and then place it somewhere else, but it's so much less intuitive. And there's like limits to how big of an area you can select with some of those, and so then you need like a whole bunch of blocks set up in an array just to get the thing to work for you, and it lags like crazy. So World Edit does so much for me that I just can't replicate it without. Is that kind of the curve I want? Where's my line going to end up being? Probably to that one. Alright, and where do I want this to go? Probably right here. Yeah? Yeah. Is that where I had it over here? Yes. Up to 71. I think some of it is when I was building my initial map that I made was Legend of Steve map. I did that with only the commands that were available in vanilla Minecraft. I did not use any sort of tools to help me with that. And except for World Painter. I used World Painter to get the basic world down, because otherwise that's too many blocks to have to place by hand. And honestly, I was quite proud of doing that, but then I had to go in and manually fix a lot of the terrain as well. And I'll tell you, that was miserable to make. So, the fact that I have World Edit now, it's just like, yeah, never going back. Never ever, you can't make me. I'll kick and scream before I go back. Yeah, that's a decent curve. I'm a veteran. So part of me really, what I regret doing is when I made Legend of Steve, I didn't bother looking up how to do videos and getting into YouTube back then. But that's like, when I was making Legend of Steve is like when Green first started making videos. And so a lot of, and like Gemini Tay started making World Edit videos around then too. And so one of my big regrets is not getting into video making and YouTube stuff before, because I might have actually been able to have a career in it, but if I had started back then. But I didn't. So, yeah. It is what it is. I think the reason I didn't start back then is because I had an awful lot of self-doubt, and I didn't think I could. I don't think I'm the most charismatic person in the world. So... I still think that sometimes, which is why I'm kind of surprised anybody watches my videos sometimes. And even you guys come and take time out of your day to watch me make YouTube videos and play Minecraft. I'm sorry, what? I'm just a random person. I don't know what I'm doing. But, it is a bit of a boost to my self-esteem that I actually have people who bother to come watch me, so thanks for coming and watching me, guys. Ooh, I don't like that curve at all. Yuck. Alright, well, let's fix it. That's better. Alright. Green and Gem wouldn't make these arches. I mean, they're great builders, and Green's been doing, does a lot of, like, Victorian style builds that I can appreciate. He's recently been doing stuff with Axiom, and which I can appreciate, because I was also just recently trying to learn Axiom, and it's not easy to learn. So sometimes I feel like, I could be good friends with them, because, like, they're in my age group, we all do Minecraft stuff, but, you know, it's good luck trying to make friends with YouTubers, it doesn't work. So, yeah, that's okay. See, now I have to, what I'm doing, I'm staring at these and I'm trying to compare. Do I like this curve better, or do I like this curve better? Though I'm missing a block up here that I have to quickly go splat in, because otherwise that looks weird to me. Nah. Alright. It's such a subtle difference. I don't think anybody is going to notice or care. So which one do I prefer? Do I prefer it pointing to that vertices, or do I prefer it pointing to the dead center? Now, of course, that one is going to look exactly the same for that curve, because it is going to point towards the center. Coin flip will decide. I mean, if I'm going to just, like, coin flip it, I'm not going to bother coin flipping. I'm just going to take the thing that's already done, so that way I do less work. Because I've already done that, and I can just copy that and flip it and paste it around the entire oval, and I could just call that a day. Um, and part of me is tempted to, because they look pretty dang similar. I'm almost... Should I even bother with some of these ones to try to compare? I don't know if I should. Coin flip ruined your life. What are you, the Two-Face? I do kind of like the curves that are being made by this side a little bit more. I'm wondering if I should do one more arch and then decide. Because from one arch, they look pretty similar. But I think this one will be a little bit more definitive. So up we go. Where's the center of this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the center. That's a good center point, actually. Up to 71. Back. Place blocks on the side instead of the top. There. And now I can go to you. Line. Blue. Boink. What is that? This one is a straight line, so I'm going to be a little bit more anal about whether it's even or not. What happened there? Why are you off? Oh, it's because this was part of the move command from earlier. Well, that one should be easy to just move back. So it has to be a straight line in order to point to there. There. Done. Good. Have I considered streaming on Twitch? I have no idea how Twitch works, and I end up with, like, mixed results where some people are like, Twitch is great for creators, and other times it's like, no, Twitch is awful for creators. And I haven't tried it yet. I'm not sure how well I would do with it. I feel like there's a lot more of a trying to figure out, like, making... Oh, I need to be following this line. Oops. I don't know. Those, from what I have seen of Twitch, there's a lot more to set up, like trying to make actual, like, banners that then can show off the chat as it comes up. YouTube doesn't let me, as far as I can tell, doesn't let me put the chat into my future video VOD or whatever. But I'd have to, like, actually make designs for stuff like that, which I can do. I have the stuff to make them. I just actually need to bother doing it. But then I think one of the big things is also I'd have to basically start over from scratch. Who's going to watch? I feel like it's hard to get your name out there as a new person making stuff, and I could just say, hey, you know, if you're from my YouTube channel, come watch me over on Twitch instead. But it feels weird. I don't know. Why make them go to Twitch when they can just watch from YouTube still? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I just haven't looked into it. I'm really bad with social media, just in general. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have an Instagram. The only site I am on is Reddit. And that's it. So, oh. Nope, redo that. Shoot, I was going to just be cheeky and undo my line up here, but, oops. Oh well. And this feels kind of terrible to say, but I'm kind of bad with figuring out technology on my own. I make my husband do my IT work a lot of the times. He's the one who built my computer, and does anytime any sort of technical problem crops up, I end up calling him to come help me out with it. So anytime it's just like I have to figure out a completely new interface, I'm kind of screwed. I feel bad because I should be more. I should be better with technology than I am. Um, but I think some of it is just laziness factor. I used to have my dad do all of my tech stuff, and then I got married, and now I make my husband do it all for me. I think the time I was the most tech savvy was when I was doing the original Legend of Alex, not Legend of Alex, Legend of Steve game. It was like the main time in my life I was actually trying to learn a lot of that stuff, but I didn't. And for similar reasons, I haven't bothered to learn like well, I say I haven't bothered, but I have attempted to try to learn like Blender and other like 3D modeling softwares, because I think it would be up my alley to do art through some of that stuff as well. At one point I learned Autodesk 3ds Max, but that was because I took classes on it through high school. I say high school, but it was like a summer class that I did on it. But then that is way outdated now, the version that I learned, and so I would be starting over from scratch anyway, and it's expensive. So yeah, I don't have any knowledge on how to do 3D modeling anymore. I just... It's one more thing to have to learn. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to be lazy and not learn it. Yeah, and that's a fair point, that technology is constantly, it's, bother to learn something, and then next thing you know, it's outdated within, like, a year or two. So sometimes that can be frustrating. And I think for me, I think the older I get, the harder it is to learn new things, just because I don't have time is the biggest one for me. I have a toddler I have to look after, and then when I'm not looking after toddler, I have a 7-year-old that I'm having to run to his extracurricular activities, and at the end of the day, I'm tired enough that all I want to do is sit and play House Flipper 2 or Phasmophobia with with some of my friends and just chill and hang out, or watch a show with my husband. It's like, yeah, or I sit and dink on Reddit. And and then I don't get anything done. Yeah, how 50-year-olds get the motivation to travel and learn and stuff. I think the big thing is most 50-year-olds are empty nesters. That's where my in-laws are traveling almost constantly. They just got back from a trip to Australia. And I think the big thing is that all of their kids are grown up. And so they don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. every single morning to get their kid ready for school, and then have to spend the entire day making sure the toddler doesn't kill herself by getting into the bottom of the sink and drinking cleaner fluid. Yeah, there's a certain level of freedom that comes with not having to raise a family. Our generation had it harder for stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the generation stuff that's rough for us is just the recessions, the constant recessions we've had to deal with. Um, I've pretty much accepted that I will never own my own home, just because there's no way we can afford it on my husband's income. We're able to make rent, pay for rent, and we're able to pay for groceries, but well, we can't save enough to be able to finance an actual house. I think that's the biggest issue with our generation, or my generation anyway, is that just it feels like a lot of the bigger purchases are just so out of reach. So then I blow my money on silly things like short things, more short-term investments, because then they make me happy and I live a happy, fulfilling life. And I think I'd rather do that than try to save forever for something I just can't afford, even if I tried. It doesn't help that I also have children that I need to pay for, and, some of it is I want to be able to give them opportunities as well. So, so we end up shoveling hundreds of money towards, paying for the kid to do taekwondo and swim lessons. And, so yeah, it's a chunk of money, but I think those are worth to invest in, is giving my kids something to look forward to in life as well. And, my son really likes the taekwondo because he likes doing the sword fighting stuff, which then I'm happy and thrilled about, because I also love doing the sword fighting and stuff like that. So... Oof. Yeah, see, I almost kind of prefer that look to that one. That one looks almost a little bit too squishy, doesn't it? These ones look a little bit more open. So I'm glad I made that line. Because that tells me a lot more that I think I actually prefer the one that I've already built, and therefore I don't have to build the rest of that one, because I don't like it as much. Are we in agreement? We good with this? Because I think I'm just going to copy that and flip it all around and consider it done. Yes, we're all in agreement? Cool. Alright, let me just come down here to the base of that. What is the base of that? That is at 44. You agree under gunpoint. No, I legitimately want your opinions. I think that's one of the reasons I like doing the live streams, is being able to get immediate feedback on stuff. Because if I build something and then post it and people go, bleh, that looks terrible, Shells, then I didn't know. I'm doing the best I can. Whereas if I'm in the middle of building it and you guys are like, man, Shells, I don't know about that. I think you did it wrong. And for doing Baroque and Rococo especially, where I'm pretty sure I'm not doing the certain things right, if there's somebody more knowledgeable than me out there who's just like, actually it's supposed to look like this, I would love to get your feedback while I'm building it, as opposed to when I'm done, in which case I go, oh yeah, you're right, I did it wrong. I had a couple people who did that to me for some of my Gothic architecture builds, where they're like, well, you're right, except like this is wrong and it's like, yeah, okay, you're probably right. And I'm not going to do a minus air for this one because I want it to replace what's there. Cool. Flip. Past. Flip. Past. Alrighty. It's only missing a couple because of... Yeah, I didn't want to get any of the rainbow stuff in there. So I just need to go through and put in... Is it going to that one? Yeah, probably. Oh, what's that one going to? This one? Uh-oh. Sorry. I have to go check. What are you doing over here? Oh, it's on that. What are you doing? I don't know. Why did that look different? No, not there. Up one. I think that's it. No, that just looks wrong. It's different. No, that's because that's on the wrong one. Yeah. You're supposed to be right here. But then how does that work? Why low are you? 49? Why you no line up? Because that comes out one. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright. Alright, that's how it do. Got it now. Ta-da! That looks cool. It's neat. Alright, I just have to dome the top just a little bit more because it's not going to be perfectly flat up there. But that should be pretty easy to do. If you built arch lines, you would never be happy with it. I don't know, you'd be surprised at how much that you put in and it's like, oh, I didn't think that would turn out, but it looks great, so... Alright, so I think for making the top, I'm just going to keep following this sort of curve. So this one would actually come up a little bit more. It's going to be mostly flat. I just want to get an idea of how curved it's going to be. So each of these would have to be an oval with a different varying elevation change on it. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to use these vertices as well, is because they change, you know, where they are depending on the size of the oval, and I knew that that wasn't the exact top of the oval. It was just the top of the oval where the arches meet. I'm wondering if this might be my final one. This will just go into the center here. So, in order to make this, I have to build an oval for that, an oval for that, and an oval for that. And then the curvature of my build should be more apparent. Though, it occurs to me with the way I've been making ovals, it's easier to judge based off of the width of it. So I should probably determine that curve first, and that would determine what these ones are based off of the ovals. Or I can wing it and just not make perfect ovals with all of them. Oh, surely none of them would be one block off. Oh, I hope not. I would cry. Although, with these ovals, I think that one's the most important one because that's, again, where the edge of the mural is going to be. The rest of this is going to be mural in the center. Although usually it doesn't make a perfect oval here. Usually it like has more of a design element where it like curves like out and then in and then out and then in to make almost like a flower sort of shape in the middle. But that can be determined after I get the main oval stuff in. Let me build this curve out more. Coming up. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, at least. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, sure. How many spaces did I go up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 1, 2. This is gonna be 3. Uh-oh. That would be an itty bitty oval in the center. Do I want it to be an itty bitty oval? Oh, look how cute! Yeah, okay. It's gonna be itty bitty oval. I just worry that it won't line up over there quite the same, but that's fine. Alright, let's make this oval then. Sorry, I just have to make sure I'm laying this out properly. How long is that? That's 18 blocks. It's 19 blocks now. I just did that so I can get a single center point, because I hate trying to work with even numbers. Alright, so that means that would be up to from there to there. We're gonna find 10. That's the point. You're my center point. So that means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just checking. Perfect. Alrighty. And do a circle. Should be the easiest little circle ever. Is that the same size as the oval I made over here? Can I just be lazy and regurgitate this oval onto it? How big is this oval? Because if I can be lazy, I will happily do so. 45. 19 plus 19 is... Because this is going to be doubled over... What is that? 19 plus 19. Why is my brain not doing math today? Be 40. So no, it's not that one. This one's going to be smaller than that one. Darn, I can't just regurgitate that one. Dare I just nab that one anyway, and then alter my curve? Maybe, because I am lazy. I don't have to make another level. Yeah. Yep. Peak laziness right here. Let's just grab this oval instead. That's like overlapping. I'm gonna get some of that edge, aren't I? Yeah, I am, because that actually needs to go further. Ah, great. That's just what I need. How far in is that? That is on y equals negative 58. No, not y. The x. So 58 is that one. Where's my center point? You call it lazy, I call it time saving. That's fair, and with how much there is to this Baroque stuff, I don't want to have to spend hours and hours building exact ovals. And I'll probably fudge a lot of them, but I figure the ceiling is going to be one of the big things you're going to see, so that's only a couple of ovals that I have to make, but it's still work I'd rather not have to do any more than I have to on it. Paste. And then I just have to get rid of this stuff. One of these things is not like the other. Oops, do I have tile drops turned on? Sorry. Ah! I usually switch all of these game rules so that way I don't have random things dropping like that. So that drives me nuts when I break a shelf and crap falls from it. What? I did have it turned off. Okay, well, the shelves follow different rules apparently. Well, I guess I'm littering the ground with garbage now. Looks cool. What am I making? I am making a Baroque and Rococo cathedral. Specifically, this one is a Rococo cathedral. It's a little bit too much for Baroque stuff, but I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to make this architectural style, so yeah, that is what I am doing. Oh, over here. See, now, because I extended the size of this oval, I feel like I need to extend this as well to make that more even. That should be good. This side needs to change though. This needs to go in a couple more. Do I build these in survival? No. I think I would go crazy if I tried to build one of these in survival mode. It might be fun to do at some point, but I don't have enough time to build in survival mode these days. Maybe once I don't have a toddler at home anymore, I can actually do more survival mode stuff, but yeah. Alright, next ring. We need an oval from here to... Well, let's snag this line. Copy. Flip. Paste. To there. 69 blocks. Part of me wants to be really, really lazy and just kind of wing these ovals. Just because making ovals like this takes up so much room just to, like, actually work out where the ovals go. But at the same time, I really want this ceiling to be, like, on point. And there's only two more ovals I have to make. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it to the side and build them off to the side instead, and just based off of how big they are, because I don't think I have enough room to do it up here without, like, ruining other stuff. So I already have that selected. That is on Y level 73, so if I put there, copy. Yep, I'm gonna come off to the side and do it out of the way of the cathedral. Alright, paste. Oh, did that paste it in there? Yeah, it did. Undo. Up one, then paste. Alright, so that's the length of this oval. Actually, I don't know why I built these in blue concrete, and I'm gonna turn it to blue wool. That's 69 blocks, so half of that 69 is going to be 35, well, 34 and a half, but so if I go from this to that one, haha, that's my center, yay. And so then half of 35 would be 17, 18. So 17 and a half, but so 17, and it would have to go to the 18 one to make it. That's the center of that line. Similarly, from here to there. That is the center. So now I have the center lines for two circles I'm going to make. This has to come out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright. Now, I'm going to be peak laziness with these, so we're going to actually use World Edit to help us build circles, because normally I would build these circles all by myself by hand, but I am tired of doing that, and we know what the radius is. So I'm going to make a brush. It's going to be a cylinder. It's going to be hollow, and it's going to be the orange wool. Orange. And we've got we know the radius already. It is 18 and 1. And we're going to say a mask of air. Doink. Oh. Why is it bigger than it should be? Well, fine. It's no longer got a radius of 18. We're going to give it a radius of 17 because it apparently is not including the center block in that. Alright, cool. Doink. Doink. Yay, circles! Alright. Now from this point to this point is 35 blocks, so we need to go down. That's too many. That's too few. Cool. Alright, 35. And let me just put out this center line here. You didn't try the ornage color yet? What kind of color would ornage be? Sounds fancy. It's like a fancy orange. Is it kind of like beige, but orangey? Is it an orangey beige? Could go for an orangey beige. Alright, so same thing, but now we have a radius. Put it as 34. Oops, that was not 34 that I just typed in there. Oh, and I want it to be pink because I can. Perk. Doink. Nope, that's not the one I should have done it on. That one. This one, right here. That one. Doink. Perfect. And now, I only need this for where it connects with this block here. And that lines up. Is it on that one or that one? Let me just see the pattern. 3. I hate these. It's on that one. Okay. Undo. Cool, that's all we needed that for. Now I can delete all of the rest of this stuff. And shoot away. Alright. Okay, we have a pattern of, what is this pattern? 3 and then 1, 3, 1, but then a 4 and a 1. You're gonna be difficult, aren't you? I don't like that. I don't like it when it does that. So we're gonna change it to just a 3 and 1 pattern, which then would be 1, 2, 3, and then 1. And then 1, 2, 3, and then 1 is going to go like that. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, there. That's where that lines up. Alrighty. And then I need to figure out the radius of that circle because of that. So we need to do a little bit of a triangle geometry out to where that is. That is 46. Alright, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 46 squared plus here to here. It's 27. 27 squared. I'll answer your questions in just a second. I'm just trying to get math done. Alright, so getting my calculator out on my phone. We're going to say I need the square root of 46 squared plus 27 squared equals 53.338 blah 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 blah. 53. That's what it rounds to. Alright. Cool. And now I can change this to... Oh, I can undo my Gmask. Hang on. Gmask. And grab my brush. And this one I'm going to turn it lime. It doesn't... These are arbitrary colors, but it gives me something to think about. What am I doing? Oh, right. It said 53, but because World Edit's dumb, I'm going to subtract 1 to that to make it actually work. So 52. And poof. Bam. And that is that curve of the oval. We now have enough information that I can build half of the oval. So I'm just going to start building my oval. I should double check. Where does that actually transition? On that one. So it transitions right here. So now it follows this curve instead. Place blocks today, honest. Alright, now I can get rid of the lime thing. Undo. And I have my oval, because I can just grab this and copy it and flip it and paste it. Yeah, sure, I'm just gonna make it arbitrary because I'm being lazy. Position 2. Center. Copy. Flip. Paste. Oval's done. Alright, we can go ahead and insert it into our thingamajig now. So I grab the edges of it. Yeah, it's taken me a number of times of doing these ovals for me to actually get into... So when I first was doing ovals with you guys on stream, it took me like half an hour just to build a single oval. Or in worst case scenario, I think it took me a full hour to do it. I think that's why using the brush tool has helped me to put in circles. That way I'm not having to arbitrarily make circles that are just going to instantly delete. And it helps me keep track of things a little bit better, and makes it way faster. But putting all of these lines down is why I didn't want to do it up there, is because trying to delete all of those lines while up in the rest of everything is just madness. Alright. So that's just getting the one oval. So, this Y level is on 73. So if I bring this up to 73, paste minus air. Yeah. And hey, it lined up pretty well with that too. Yay! Alright, so now I just need to do the exact same thing, but for that level, and I will have done all of the ovals that are going to be on the surface, and at that point it's just going to be filling it in. One more oval, guys. You excited? Yeah, we love making ovals. That's sarcasm, by the way. I'm so sick of making ovals, and I have so many more I need to make. You're gonna dream about ovals tonight. You're gonna dream of them. I'm gonna dream of them. I'm stuck with them. I'll dream of them for the next month. Alright. Oh. Right. Yeah. Alright. Sorry, I just need to get that in place so that way I can grab all of that. Yeah, in the end it's going to be worth it, and it's going to look so nice, and that's kind of my hope, is that the effort it makes to make these actual proper ovals will show. It'll be much better than if I just tried to wing the shapes. So every single one of these ovals has been mathematically crafted, which I'm only using one method for making ovals, and honestly this is a little bit of more of an elongated oval. Something I wish I had done is done the method where instead of the circles, the first two circles are touching each other in the center, if they had overlapped, so that way the edge of that circle went to the center line of that one. That's another way to make an oval, and honestly I like the shape of that one better. But I've already built all of these ovals based off of that one, so that's the one we're sticking with. So there. But yeah, we need to do the exact same thing. Is build another oval. So, who's up for round 2? Alright. Base. Pate. Or pate. Alrighty. I've also had to do more geometry and more math than I ever told my high school teachers I was going to end up doing in my future. Alright. Oh, hang on, let me sit on this one so I don't lose my center point. Alright, so from that to that is how big? 45 blocks. Half of 45 is 20, it'll be 23 is the block I'm looking for. That one. Haha. And then I need this one to come out by 23 blocks. Not yet. This one. Okay. I don't really need this center line, so I don't need to make one. But let's make a new brush out of this guy. Ah. Cylinder. Cylinder. There, that's the thing. Alright, we're gonna make it orange. I did it again. I did it again, guys. You see that, right? Ornage. I'm just really wanting to spell ornage today. Orange, and what was my size? 22. And I think the mask should already be set, so poof. Alrighty. Oh, and I need another one on. It's official now. It's gotta be. Now I have to actually locate what color I think ornage would be. I want to say it's probably more of like a reddish orange. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh. Where's the center line over here? Shoot. 23. You. There. Nah. Yay. Yeah, that's the hope, is I'm trying to make the streamline the creation of my ovals to make it faster. Okay. Make it pink. And we're looking at 44. And poof. No, I did it again. That's the wrong one. I need to do it from here. Poof. And figure out where it intersects with the center line. Right here. Bam. Alright, you can go away now. Oop. Alright, and now we draw a line from that to that. What's the pattern here? 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, 3, blank, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's throwing in a couple things, but I think it's more of a pattern. It does a 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. So that's easy to do. So 3, 1, 2, 3, blank. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, 3, blank. That's all we need. That one. Alright, and now we need to do more maths. So, here to the center line. Give me your center line. $68. Alright, so I don't even need to write these down. I should just plug it into my calculator. Clear. Need the square root of 68 squared plus, so u to u. Oh, that is 68. Oh, then what are u to u? 57. How did that happen? No. Can't be. That is not a longer line than that is. I'm sorry. I have to... 57. U to U. Am I crazy? That is not a longer line than that is. It's not. It's not. Ah, that's why. I was off by one. That would do it. That one to that one. Ah, 34. That's a much better number. Alright, now I have to delete stuff. Back. Alright. 34 squared plus... Now, what was that other number again? 57? 58. Plus 58 squared. 58 squared. Equals 67.2 something. Alright. But 67 is our radius for this. Now, oh, we need to cancel our G mask. And we're making the new brush. It can be pink, I suppose. So I know it says 67, but we're going to drop it by 1 because these circles are dumb. So 66. And bam. Perfect. Yay, we did it. Now I just need to outline our oval. And we're happy, hunky-dory. Paste it. There. Oval. Oh. I don't want that pink thing there. I forgot to undo the pink thing. But that means I have to redo the paste. It should still be in my clipboard, so that should be fine. Paste. Yay! Do 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 do. I almost feel like that took me a little bit more time to make this oval than it did my other one, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't care. It's on that level. That's getting it. Yeah, that's getting it. Cool. Back to the cathedral! Face Miser! I need to get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. Did that put it on the right spot? It did! We're done with ovals! We got it! We've got it done, guys! Alright, now we gotta go look at this in all of its glory. Oh! Where did that come from? Shoot! Get out of here. Go on, shoot. That didn't end up in anywhere else, did it? I don't think it did. Cool. We did it! So then, yeah, all I have to do to actually fill this in is fill in each of these ovals. What block what generic looking block should I fill in for the, top? Because I will replace it with pixel art at some point. I'm going to do something unoffensive, and I'm going to fill it with, blue terracotta, I think, I think that's the base that I would want to do for color palette wise for the mural up top. Hornage! Yes, that's exactly the color we need to fill it with. Oh, that's going to not poke out a hole for the center, though. Shoot. Hang on. Drop you by one. Doesn't need to be black. It could make it the same color as everything else, but it's this now anyway. Stopped at the halfway point. That's not what I need to do. Keep going. Aha! That only did half of it. Well, a quarter of it. Did I get rid of the one that was over here? No, I didn't. What do you mean it's technically another oval? We're, I've already done the hard work of actually outlining the thing. Now here's the main issue that we're going to come across is it's going to plunge everything down here into darkness. It's going to look awful. So the next thing to do would be to strategically place some beautiful skylights and try to hide them because I hate the Minecraft lighting. It has no sense of ambient light whatsoever and I hate that. Alright, now we need to drop this line all the way down again. At least I'm not having to calculate this oval. That's the main thing. We've calculated all the ovals we need to do, and now we're just tracing lines we already have. Mojang, fix your stuff. Yeah. I mean, while they're at it, can we please have vertical slabs? Please, oh please. No, the lighting is one of those things that I don't see. It would be such a drastic change to the existing engine that I don't see them doing it ever. But I think the main thing is we need more ambient light. Because the light levels, they're trying to do stuff with that, but it's just, you can't get a light source that's bright enough for larger builds. It just doesn't work. And it makes sense for making caves, because you want the caves to be dark, you're cutting off all sources of light for caves, but inside a building it just immediately plunges things into just shadows. It looks so bad. Just even that amount of covering and it just looks abysmal. Alright, well, we're glad that you were able to join us, Bazin. Thanks for coming to the stream. do is like actually poke holes in these, so that way I'm not having to do the fill command multiple times. Whoops. Alright, one more to do, and then the rest of this I have to fill by hand, because this isn't through perfect ovals, this is my arches. And I'm gonna have to do all of that by hand. It's, yeah, there is no easy way to go about doing that one, unfortunately. But I almost have a roof, guys! We're making progress. That's important. Alright. I'm probably going to just select everything after I'm done here and tell all of the black wool and blue concrete to turn into the blue terracotta, so that way it's all just one color. You don't see these rings. It's coming along is exactly right. This actually makes me extraordinarily happy, just because, like, I've gotten so bogged down with this project that it feels like after spending hours and hours, I'm not actually contributing hardly anything. So when it's like, oh my gosh, the ceiling is done, it's like, oh, whew, happy day. We can move on with life now. It gives me hope that I can actually get this done in the semi-near future. I feel a little bit bad because I've been putting off doing Legend of Alex stuff for this, but I think that I have more people who are interested in watching my architectural tutorials than I have people who are into watching Legend of Alex stuff, so it's just as well. Alright, I'm gonna be smart and poke holes this time. I guess there's just one more hole that needs poked there. So that way it's dumb. I need to drop that by one though. Yeah? Yeah, that's dropped by one? No. No, that's not right. Does this... Oh, this needs raised by one over here. I see. Oops. Should just grab all of that one corner and do a copy paste around. Yep, doing it. Where's my center? Like, buried my center line. Where is it? Is it still down here somewhere? Nope, it's gone. Crap. Alright, I'll need to mark out the center then. Figure out that there. And, nope, too far. There. It's still off by one. Let's not have my center line off by one this time, folks. Yeah, that's on. Yay. I don't even remember which section oh, okay, that's the one I copied. Alright. You can't do the rotate and paste like you could with the other one. You have to do a flip every time for the oval. Which means I actually have to pay attention to what direction I'm facing. Yay! Moment of truth. We've done it. Yeah, now I'm just gonna select everything here and get rid of the black lines and then poke holes in it so that way I can actually see something. That's on that level. Up. There. Yeah, that's getting it all. Temporarily getting rid of that so that way my replace command does not just nab everything. Far enough over, right? Yeah, I am. Okay. Replaced with blue terracotta. Yay! And I might leave that empty anyway, because we're gonna have to start figuring out where I want to stab holes in this. Ugh. I almost wonder if, in order to get an even coverage, I'm just going to need to just do a grid of holes. Part of the problem is if I'm planning on putting any sort of pixel art, these holes are going to try to interfere with that pixel art really bad. So usually my solution is to, oh, especially since I have to do color matching. My solution is usually to put a piece of, like, stained glass that's approximately the right color-ish, and then put a carpet on top. Let's say, like, a black carpet. Or just gray carpet, sure. So then you notice it slightly less than before. But I think that's going to be hard if I'm having to color match with my pixel art. But the alternative is darkness. Lots of darkness. I don't want it to be dark. The other thing that's nice about doing the skylights is I can have them go all the way down to the bottom, which once the ceiling is done, I'm going to do a copy, flip, and a paste, so that way it looks like it's a reflection in a reflection, like this is a reflective surface, which is what the effect I've got going over here is doing. So yeah, because of that, I think I have to just like poke in a grid. So what I should do is figure out how big that grid needs to be and where these, because this makes like a diamond shape, and I have to figure out, well, that edge of the diamond reaches out to here. Go all the way out to the edge of the diamond. It should be like 15 blocks out for getting to block level 15. So then I would need to go 30 blocks out for the next hole. I go on the surface, that way I'm not staring at darkness. Just gonna quickly try to find the ideal spots to put holes. So from there to like the edge there, that's at the 15. I might put it one block in and do 14 block gaps instead, just because I don't want to have to deal with the edge of that one, mostly, but and then it will hopefully be a little bit brighter. And similarly, 15 blocks this way. Or 14 blocks, I guess, to make it even. But see, that covers a diamond shape, and it's still going really dark towards the edge. I almost wonder if I need to make them a little bit closer together. See, I don't want those dark lines right there. So, would 2 blocks... I think 1 block isn't going to be enough. I think it might have to be 2 blocks to really cover that gap. So I'm going to place the new one first and then cover the old. Oops. Does that get rid of any and all weirdness? Nope. I think we're just going to end up with some weird shapes that are gonna be in there no matter what we do, aren't we? The other solution is just to, like, give the ceiling a full coating of light blocks. I really don't want to have to do that. But I might have to for a good even covering of light levels. Because part of the problem is I want that ceiling to be bright enough that you can make out the mural that's going to be on it. Yeah, it's still really, really dark. I'm gonna try to put in a grid up top of the every 13 blocks. Just all along this entire ceiling, just to see how it works down below. You had to go 5 blocks, every 5 blocks to not get that effect. Oh, good grief. And part of me feels bad for getting rid of all of the shadows that are in here, but I think it's the only way to make this, like, actually brightened up enough. Because I do not like the shadow effect on here, unfortunately. There's a time and place for shadows, and this is not where I want there to be shadows. And yeah, I'm gonna face the exact same problems over there as well. Darn. I don't want to have to place these holes every 5 blocks. That would be very... it wouldn't be very great for trying to put my mural over the top of this. Part of me is really excited to actually get in, like, the murals and statues and stuff like that, because part of me wants to... I'm doing something really silly with my statues and stuff for this particular build. You might have noticed with some of my other statues that I've got, but we're going for biblically accurate angels sort of deal, but I'm taking an exact scene from Revelations and doing it biblically accurate with all of the weird 7-horned, multi-eyed beasts and things like that. And, so part of me is excited to, like, explain everything. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, So, it's going to be fun, I think. Hopefully other people like it as much as I like it, but I think that it was more fun for me to do that than just to have, like, generic building saints and stuff or something. I think if you have a story or a purpose to your build, it just makes it that much more exciting. How did that one end up on a thing and that one did not? I don't want it to line up on the exact edge there. That's always awful to try to hide. I'm off by a block. Yay, I seem to be good at that today. If they were weeping angels. I mean, neat idea, but I don't think I could base an entire cathedral off of that one. This at least gives me, like, an entire scene to base it off of, and since it's Revelations, we're talking about the apocalypse, and so, I'm going to have, like, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We're gonna have all sorts of weird locusts, demon things. It's gonna be great. I'm excited to build it, because it's almost silly in a way, because it's the biblically accurate versions of them. And I don't know, I think that would be fun. Am I going to have to go 5 blocks? Because this is still really shadowy, and I don't want it to be shadowy. I also don't want to have to just, like, do a massive fill command of light blocks everywhere just to get my floor to not look stupid. I don't like it. But the more blocks I place, the more likely it is to run into issues when I start putting in a mural. Ten, 11. No, is that where it's gonna be? I don't know. No, that doesn't look right. But I also don't want to put it all the way over there, because then it'll be on the edge. Yeah, it'll be fine. Oh, but it's gonna be on the edge over there. Not fine. Less fine. Yeah, that one's okay. That'll be fine. There's one in the very center. Where's my center? And there's one over here. If I do half of it and then I just, like, copy and paste, then that would work. Or a quarter of it, I mean. It does have light blocks below, but it still looks all shadowy and stuff. It's... Every 5 blocks, you say? That's ridiculous. I don't want to have to spam a whole bunch of lights everywhere. But I don't see any other solution. That feels too far away, going over to there, doesn't it? Is that why it's so shadowy? That might be why it's so shadowy. Which means I'm going to end up on the edge again. Didn't want to be on the edge. But I suppose it's on this outside edge, which isn't as bad. So fine, I'll do it. This does not look like I'm making a perfect grid. But I'm not sure how much I care at this point. I might move these one block closer in. What are we building? We're building a cathedral! I got the roof figured out and started to fill it in a little bit here. I have to fill in the rest of it by hand, but got a great big chunk of it done. We're trying to figure out how to light it up. I've been trying to do the poking holes in it trick, but we're ending up with a diamond pattern with it, and I'm really, really sad about that, and I'm kind of I'm hesitant to poke more holes in it to get rid of the diamond pattern in it, but I might have to. Just because I really need the lights. But it's going to suck because I'm supposed to put in pixel art on the ceiling. Have I ever been to Sugan? I have no idea what that is, so no, I have not. The few places I've been outside of the United States, and minus Canada, I've been to Canada a couple times, but the few places I've been have been like, I went to Poland and Czech Republic for a little bit. But otherwise, I have traveled a lot within the US. I almost wonder if I do, like, at the center of these blocks. Not that I've made any of these even, so I can't tell where my center block is supposed to be. Yep, I did that wrong. All of this is wrong. Bah. Oh, that's definitely off. Ah, I see. You were making up a place. There is no such a place as Sugan. Haha, we are all very amused. Does that look any better? No. Vaguely. Not really. It's still a diamond pattern. And the more holes I'm putting in, the more you can tell, hey look, Shells just stabbed a bunch of holes in the ceiling. The problem is, I would just fill all of that with light blocks to make that more even, but I want it to light up the bottom here better. How do I get past that? I don't think I can. With the way that Minecraft light works, I think I'm just going to end up with shadowy bits, which unfortunately looks terrible with this floor that I've got. And I don't think there's going to be a good way to not have that be an issue. It makes me really sad though, because it looks so good in the sunlight. But then looks like garbage everywhere else. So what we do is we just, you know, have no lights poked in anywhere, and we'll just have the player drink a night vision potion the moment they enter this cathedral in order to see anything. Well, so the thing with placing light blocks is I would not have to just place individual light blocks. I'd have to fill entire areas with light blocks. But if it was just a ceiling, that would be one thing, but I'd also have to place, like, fill all of the spaces down here with light blocks. I would have to spam them if I were to get enough ambient light. The main issue I'm facing is that there is no such thing as ambient light in Minecraft right at the moment. And it's my worst enemy with trying to do any of this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a big grid for... I'm gonna keep going with my grid. I don't see a better solution. Oh, I moved that block, but not this one. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. And then that would mean 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where that would go. Similarly. Yeah, on there. So many blocks. There isn't a better way to do this. Oh, I'm off by one. There. That one and that one. I'm just gonna try to put in all of the holes in a 1/4 of the ceiling, and then I can just copy and paste it around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh. Right, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There, that's where that one goes. That's my center point, so I don't have to worry about it. I can tell I'm starting to peter out. I've been streaming for like 3 hours. Starting to turn into a pumpkin here. I apologize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This should line up with that. there. This should line up with that right there. Welcome, welcome. Alright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Why is that off by one? Oh, that's fine. The grid can be off. It's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This one should be in a cross section with that one. Alright, I think I've gotten a quarter of the oval done. Yeah, that's pretty evenly distributed, so now I just need to select everything and copy paste it around. I do somewhat regret not being able to allow shadows, very many shadows down here, but I think this will make me happier in the long run to have most of it illuminated than having it just plunged into darkness. Because, you know, we have a full ceiling here, but you can only slightly tell now. Putting pixel art on that ceiling with all of those holes poked in it is going to be fun! Not really, but I'm sure we can hide it with enough stained glass shenanigans. I mean, that's what I've done for the holes anyway, is just stained glass, so if I put more stained glass in the pixel art, it should hopefully not be too bad. And most of the pixel art will still be intact. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. It has been 3 hours since I've been streaming, and I've made a lot of progress just in this stream. We got all of the arches finished, we got the roof on. I think off camera I'm going to try to fill in all of these gaps, and then I will have the roof section of this done, which is a huge step. And then afterwards I'll have to do basically the exact same thing for over here, but hopefully that won't be as horrendous. We'll see how it goes. And then some domes here and there. Domes are much easier to work with than ovals, though. And then these little chapels are going to be tiny, so that's going to be an actual exterior roof line that'll come out and cover this little bit, and all of these are going to be like that, so we've done the bulk of the ceiling with that. It's coming along, it's taking shape, and I am happy with how it's turning out, so yay! Thank you so much for coming out and watching my stream. As I've mentioned time and time again, and I will continue to mention, it means a great deal to me that you guys are willing to take time out of your day to come watch me build stuff in Minecraft. So hopefully I can get things done. Oh, for videos that are coming up, I'm being weird and I'm making a floor plan for the Bluey house, because I have a toddler, I watch an awful lot of Bluey, and it's what I do. I see a house, I'm like, I have to map it out, even though the floor plan doesn't actually make sense in there, but that's kind of what's fun, and I get to explain that. So I'm in the middle of writing a script for it. I've been collecting screenshots and clips of Bluey, and I'm going to be releasing that as soon as it's done. Otherwise, I'm going to be plugging away at trying to get the Baroque and Rococo stuff out to you ASAP. Unfortunately, it might still take a while yet, but once I get that done, hopefully I can start, going back to making Legend of Alex videos and other things like that. So, yeah. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! I really need a proper end stream button. Where is it? Yes. There.